Hi, everybody. My name is Matt LeBlanc. I'd like to welcome you all to the very first episode of Autocadie, which is a car stories podcast that we're filming here in partnership with the Exclusivo Car Club. Very happy to be a part of this wonderful area, this wonderful room, as you can see the background for us. Today, I have a very special privilege. I have a very special guest, a man I've known for many, many years, and I'm hoping that you guys will find him as entertaining as I do when it comes to talking about cars. I'd like to introduce to you guys, everybody, Mr. Al Lang from D1 Autotech, the founder himself. Tech for almost 20 years now. Been in the trade for many, many years, doing many, many things, working on some high-end vehicles, some pretty cool stuff. Race car driver extraordinaire, car builder extraordinaire. Let's get to know Al a little bit. So I'd like to introduce everybody to Mr. Lang as we go by here. Al, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me, Matt. You're making me look a lot better than I actually am. But.
I try, I try very hard. I've known you for many, many years now. Like a lot of people know that come to the shop and talk to us over at D1.
That's right.
They know we grew up together. We did doing this for a very long time.
And this has been kind of a dream thing for the two of us to be able to work together and kind of go at it.
Yeah, a dream come true. And that's the big thing now. We get to work together, get to work on some really cool stuff, get to fix some really nice cars, and have a lot of fun doing it at the same time. So Al, tell us a bit about yourself. How did you get started in the automotive industry? How did it all come about for you?
So let's rewind back to, I'm going to date myself here, but let's call it 2003-ish. So I'm in high school, and I've had a passion for cars for years, obviously. Me, and everybody that kind of knew me growing up knew that I was a car guy, right? I have car magazines, car and driver magazines, motor trend magazines dating back from 93, 94, 95. When kids are reading, grade school books, I was reading car magazines, comparing 0 to 60 times. So obviously it was a thing for me. I knew where I was going at a very young age at that. I was exposed to it early enough, which was fun in a way, but it's almost like it tainted me in a sense where I needed more, right? I always needed more. So I had family members that were into the mechanics in that world, and I found the satisfaction of fixing things very rewarding at an early age. So 2003, I'm in high school. I have a pretty good idea what I want to do. And there's a program through high school. It's called Co-op. It's a great program, by the way. I was able to get in there, and it was tough. Because no dealerships wanted to take you, right? Because it's a thing. You now have a high school kid working on cars at a dealership level where not everybody is comfortable with it. Yeah. But if you pick the right candidate, that student can become somebody. So I was very lucky, actually, that dealership here, the Volkswagen dealership, gave me a shot. So here we are, 2004, let's say. I'm in there now, and it was a good start. It was a good initiation to the trade. So I walk in there, my first day. I get told, the guy looks at me and he says, Al, I'm going to set you up with our best guy, but don't take him to heart because he's a bit rough. So anyway, that's how I met Bebe. Bebe, anybody that's been in the area, you'll know him. He was a great mentor to me. I worked with him all that year, actually for 6 months about. Worked with him every day, but he was so tough, right? In this day and age, he wouldn't get away with the stuff that he got away with, but
I believe it.
He drove it into me. So process, quality, repetitiveness, to the point where one day I went into work and I was having a bad day. And I was bigger, I was taller than him, I was stronger than him. I said, I'm going to beat this guy up, right? I'm going to get him, right? So, you're 16 years old, you kind of think you have it all. Yeah, it didn't work. No. It didn't work.
He'll put you in your place. I had a chance to work with BBA from like 2010 to about 2012, and like there's no putting that guy in his place. Like he'll put you in your place before you know it. Like
so, and it was it was an eye opener. You think you're it, and I have great respect. And this there was no harm, no anything done there. It was just we have fun, and he still stops by the shop all the time now, and we talk about it, and we have a good chuckle and stuff. So I mean, walking out of there, So I walked out with great marks, by the way.
Yeah.
So Bibi kind of put me on the right path, and I was able to reproduce his quality level or that the predictability that
Yeah.
the service department that the customer expects. I walked out of there with that kind of click in my head on what do I need to do to be successful in this trade. So I walked out of there, went to high school, finished high school, graduated, went to the tech. So I go in there, I had the choice of either going to NBCC in Moncton here,
Yep.
or NBCC or CCNB in Bathurst.
Okay.
People that have known me for a long time know that we're mostly unilingual French at the house.
Yep.
On parle français. So for me, Bathurst was the right option, but I didn't want to move away from all my buddies. I had my old cars. We'll talk about that after. And I'm sitting there going, well, you know what? I'll just have to speak English, right? I was pumping gas at the time in a little Corners gas bar, and you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. So I went to the tech, made a lot of great friends, learned a lot of great things, and it was through that it kind of gave me an entryway because I was in Moncton, because of the network that the college had created with all the dealerships in the area. They kind of paved the way for me to go from education directly into the workforce, right, as an apprentice technician. So that all worked out. Not long after, a very high-end European dealership opened up here in Moncton right around 2008. And I was one of the first ones to get hired there, actually. So, yeah, I was quite proud of that. But with that first tech new dealer world comes big responsibilities.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we know it now in our world. The dealer is the trump all. The dealer is the benchmark. It's the standard. If nobody can figure it out, the dealer will figure it out. So it's big shoes to fill. So 20-year-old Al walks into this dealership. It's nice. It's fancy. It's beautiful. The cars are next level. But now you gotta act the part. You gotta fill the shoes,
You
right?
gotta show up. Yeah.
So you take a guy like Bibi, and I sat there going, how can I use his expertise, his knowledge, to kind of move that and kind of put that into work, so to speak, at that dealership. It got tested early on. I don't know if I ever tell you the story. So let's say it's 6 months in, we get a new model. It was new release, new model, new engine, new everything. It shows up right off the truck. The car's hurt. There was something going on, and we're kind of, everybody's scratching their heads, and we're going back and forth with tech support and all that. And eventually they tell me, they say, Al, I think we're going to have to throw a set of turbos at this car.
Okay.
So at that time it was a twin turbo model, which is very, very early twin turbo, direct injection, kind of fancy stuff. Yep. No other manufacturers had it. This European manufacturer had it. So they tell me, Al, we're going to have to throw turbos at it. Let's see what it does. There was no instructions. There was nothing. There's no manual, no book, nowhere's to click. Everything was dead-ended. So, boys almighty, I had to rewind and go, you know, what would Bibi do? What would he do in a situation like this? Like, what avenue do I take? Anyway, it ended up, we got it working, put turbos in it, a bit of a head scratcher, but that's fine. We got it figured out. But yeah, so that kind of brings me up to 2008, where you started in the trade yourself, right?
Yeah, I came out of college from NBCC St. John in automotive marketing and business studies. Came out of that, started working for dealerships around here, and that was about the same thing. So that puts us to about 2008, where I was coming into the trade much like you, where we were going from like books on the counter to like computers in the office. Like literally it was from like microfiche to look up parts and like electronic computers. So like that was the big thing. Everybody who has it easy now has all their laptop and everything in the office, but we had to go through books and all that. Yeah. I don't know if it was like that at your high-end dealership. I wasn't at the high-end dealerships from the get-go, so I had a few lower-end brands.
There was a couple books that we had to kind of fold the corners and put something in there to remember the page. But no, that worked out. But being at that dealership opened a lot of doors for me. So obviously the first thing they brought was the confidence, right? So these people trust me to work on their cars. I'm going to give it all I got. And I felt like I was probably the best man for the job at the time, even though at a very young age, what I had learned early on, even from my co-op days, kind of projected into that. Like I knew that maybe the experience wasn't there, but I knew I was giving it my all to really make the best, a bad situation better, or call it what you want. A car breakdown's never fun, but I'll be the guy to kind of fix it, right?
Yeah.
So I got to meet a lot of good people. Notably, there was one, it was a high-profile customer at the time. Him and I just clicked.
Yeah.
Right? I approached him one day, just kind of mingling, being nice, kind of not being intrusive in any way, but I had, quite an interest in his car collection, right? So it's we got connected that way, and I was lucky enough to, go and get enough of his trust, let's call it, or instill his trust. Could I say that?
Yeah.
To get into his kind of car world. So we did that from, let's call it 2010. I remember sending my first email out, stealing my neighbor's Wi-Fi, because I didn't have Wi-Fi in my own apartment back in the day, because I didn't have money to get Wi-Fi, right? And Wi-Fi in 2009 was a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
That was its own package, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, got connected with him and started working on his cars. So he opened a lot of doors for me. So when I talk about racing at Daytona or racing in Sebring or Palm Beach International Raceway, which is formerly Moroso Motorsports Park, track days and stuff like that, track days at Shubenacadie, crewing for the guys, making sure the cars are all okay. It was all through this gentleman here.
Yeah.
And then one of my favorite races is in Canada. Believe it or not, there's a great track in Mont-Tremblant. They call it Circuit Mont-Tremblant.
Yep.
It's beautiful. Formerly an F1 track. And turn one, they had to kind of fix the track, because turn one, you'd go into the corner, it was down and back up. But the up was so steep that the F1 cars would actually get airborne and lose control. So they had to bring the track down. I think it was 30 feet. So we pull in. First year we go to the Mont Tremblant. It was a great time. The village is great. The track is fun. People are happy. It's, midsummer. The vibe's just good, right? Second year we go down. I went down a day after the boys. So I'm driving. I'm on Highway 40. So across Quebec City, Highway 40 on the north side, I guess. Driving down, doing 130, tunes blaring. I think it was Dave Matthews Band at the time. And my phone rings, and I see it's the boys from the track. And I said, nah. They're just giving me an up-to-date on, what's going on. So I grabbed the phone, and they said, Al, I said, I think the car's hurt. And this is Thursday. Like, we're racing Thursday, we're racing Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we're hoping to come home Sunday. And I'm going, like, there's no way. This was a brand new motor we just put in the car. We went out and tested it at Shuby. So did a track rental, tested it there. Everything was fine. And then we show up there, and first session out, the car's hurt. So that gets my head spinning, right? So try to listen to the noises, try to figure it out. So over the phone, I find out that it was a rocker shaft that was bad.
Okay.
So as I hang up with him, I'm driving. No, I was actually stopped. But Googling spots, shops around. So I call a couple guys, and I find enough parts to scrounge up together to pick up on my way through into Montreal.
Okay.
To get into the track. Anyway, we're lucky enough people drop it off at the track. But all weekend, every session, the car would hurt rocker shafts, and we couldn't figure it out, right? So try, and you're always chasing the podium with those cars. Like, it's not about it being the fastest or whatever else, but if you can outwork or outsmart or even outskill the other teams just to get yourself on the podium, that $3 trophy, it's worth it, right? So bandage the car on Thursday, get it working on Friday, we run out of rockers that we had. We got another team to give us another set of rockers. Like, it was a thing, right? Finally, at the end, like, we just run out of options. Something's going on with this engine, and it's going to need more. But we kind of bandaged it up till the Saturday.
Okay.
Anyway, kind of leave with our tails between our legs. We get to the shop, and it just happened that this specific camshaft needed this oiling pattern, and we replaced the camshaft, but we didn't change the oiling pattern,
Okay.
right? So it wasn't getting lubricated properly. It was just an honest mistake, but it was a thing where we worked our butts off all weekend just to keep the car on the track.
Yeah.
And people say, like, so on street cars, you'll see it where you have maintenance required or lights on coming on in the dash or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But on race cars, there's timers. So it's not mileage, it's not when it's broken, it's parts expire, and it's based on time, so it's run time. So a transmission's 50 hours on the Porsches, 100 hours on the engines, and this is a non-negotiable. If you're going to go and race reliably, at 100 hours of runtime, you're going to take the engine out, you're going to put it on a pallet, and it's going to go away. Even if it still runs perfect, right? So in the first time you do it, you get it rebuilt. The second time you get it rebuilt. The third time, guess what? Your engine, it's got 300 hours on it. It's going in the trash.
Yeah.
You're getting a new one, right? And that's all for reliability's sake. So, but using that knowledge from, the racing world and dragging that back into the street car world, you realize that, in a sense, you can race any of these street cars. But guess what? As long as you're driving a street car reasonably on the streets, it'll last forever. As soon as you're on the track, you're beating up these cars terribly, right? And we see them. We see some guys drive hard and they say, I'm the hardest guy to be driving this car around here. Well, you're not.
No.
Right? People race these things. Where we'll race, let's say at Daytona, where we'll do endurance racing, we can race cars for 6 hours straight.
Yeah.
And the cars they come in, shove some fuel in them, tires, driver swap, the car goes out again. The car just becomes a monster, like a machine, and but it can't stop.
Yeah.
Like you just, that's the fun of it. Another instance, we went to Daytona and we pull in, again early on, showed up with 3 cars. And we're doing test session, we noticed there's an oil leak on one of the cars. So it's not like, I know there's 3 cars, there's 3 drivers, but you're not racing at Shuby, you're at Daytona.
Yeah.
Right? You got guys, you got crew, you got fuel, you got registration fees, you got all that. But those things happen.
Oh, yeah.
Where you get on the track and it just doesn't pan out. There's some successful days too. The boys now race in the States and they do really well. Those Canadian guys, and I think it stems from the program that's around here with Shubenacadie. With Atlantic Motorsport Park, that little track's technical, and gives you the blind turns and the higher speeds down the back straight and stuff. It thinks just that is enough to pique the interest of the driver, and then show up at any other big track and do well because they know the car, they know the feeling, they know what it's going to feel like to go into a blind turn and have your visual markers. Anybody that's been around a track, that by the 3rd cone or by the big oak tree or by the 2nd guardrail, you're on the brakes.
Yeah.
And by the time that you can see and point the car towards the pine tree, guess what? You got it floored. Everybody's got those visual markers. Shuby's very technical like that, so you have to be very, very strict with those points. Bring that to any other track, you're going to do well.
Oh, yeah.
So we see a lot of guys from here, from A&P, go to Mosport, go to Tremblant, or wherever else in the States. The guys always shine, right? They always do really well. So, one day I'd love to have you out there to see what you could do, right?
I'm sure one day we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. Once we get some wheels going. Yeah, that'll be great. That'll be fun for me. But what's your favorite racing? So you've done road course racing, you've done drag racing is one of your big passions that you do as well. Tell us a bit about more driving stories. What kind of car racing stories do you have? Any fun kind of incidents or events that might have happened in your day? Or?
So you rewind again. So 2003, I chose Volkswagen because I was driving a Volkswagen.
Yep.
I went and got all my paperwork or paper route money together, and
you inspired me to want to buy a Volkswagen.
I don't know what it was. We're surrounded by a bunch of Volkswagen guys too.
We were, yeah.
Volkswagen show back then was run by the great Terry Godet, which is still running now. Terry passed it on to, notably we ran it for a couple of years with a couple of our friends, and then A guy from Halifax is running it now.
Yeah.
But so we're going to MVOC every year, which is Maritime Volkswagen Owners Club show. We're going to those, and I'm on our bikes. No, you remember?
Oh yeah,
those,
I remember
right?
going on bikes. Yeah.
We'd have engine
We lived
blows.
close enough. It was fun that we could bike there.
Yeah, we'd bike there, stop at the little corner store, go get pop chip and chocolate bar for $5.
Yeah.
And it was great.
1999.
It's 1999 now. So so we walk out of those, and I wanted a Volkswagen, so I grabbed all my paper route money together, and bought an old Volkswagen. So bought that. Like I thought it was a gem, right?
Yeah.
89 Jetta, small bumper. So Volkswagen kind of styles will know this, right? So 89s was the crossover year between big bumper and small bumper.
Yeah.
The small bumper is like, it looked like an old car.
Yeah.
Right? Mine was small bumper.
Yeah.
It was flat blue, and it was so bad that my girlfriend, wife now, wouldn't get in the same car as I would to go on a date night. So that was kind of the same summer. That was the same summer we started going out together, and I was all proud of my car, and I was like, "Hey, let's go for a bite to eat." And she's like, "No, I'll take my car and I'll meet you there." So that's a true story. You can ask her.
Yeah.
You can ask her. She didn't want to take the same car, so had a bunch of those. Whether it was old Volkswagens or old Jettas, old Golfs, had Corrados, Siroccos. I made myself way back, so I keep saying way back. I find it's a long time ago because it's probably 25 years ago, but there was only one standalone option back in the day.
Yep.
Right, so now
SDS systems. I remember those.
SDS system. There was no other way. So you could either, if you wanted to turbo your Volkswagen, it was either you're running a chip tune, and there's no remote tuning then because it was still dial up. Right, if you had high speed internet, you couldn't be on the phone at the same time. Like it was a thing. So there was no revisions or tunes. You had to kind of email a guy, and he'd program you a chip that you'd drop into your computer.
Yeah.
And it only worked when it wanted, really. So there was an option. It was called SDS.
Yep.
Simple Digital Systems. It's a company from out west.
Yep.
And you had to make your own crank pulley. I don't know if you remember.
I remember that because we did that on my Mark 1.
There's no options on crank sensor, sensors, or whatever. So a crank sensor, you had to drill your crank pulley, put two magnets facing up, one magnet facing down, and you'd set your offset angle, and it would kind of spark all at the same time. You kind of just hope that it would work, but it did work.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot on basic engine timing and functioning when I built that, because you have to know exactly to a T how the engine works, because the computer's too stupid to figure it out.
Yeah.
So you have to tell the computer what to do. And literally, the boss, it was this big.
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing to it. You'd run, an old sensor from an Impala and
they were all GM sensors. I remember that because it was
all GM sensors, and you could fool it and run a Volkswagen Blue Temp sensor in them too. Anyway, so did that. That for a couple of years was fun. But it was unreliable, right? We can blow an engine left, right, and center. There's no fail safes. You can just kind of run what it would give you. If you'd make 200 horsepower, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Like you'd go to JD Racing's dyno in Capillet, and you'd make like 220 horse, and it was like, you had
huge.
Something, right? You had something. So we evolved from that. Always had turbo stuff. Laid low for a while as far as big power stuff. I had a Corrado, I had a Sirocco that was really, really nice. It was ground up restoration, turbo 16 valve in it, but at that time I went to a different ECU, which is a bit more modern. I'm actually still running that same style ECU in my drag car. So kind of learned from it, but it was still low power stuff. It wasn't crazy. But technology wasn't there either, right? Fuel technology wasn't there.
Yeah.
Turbo technology wasn't there. The cars would go fast, but they weren't nearly as fast as what they are today. Back in the day, your car would make 400 wheel horsepower, and it was a menace on the street. Now you can buy a Kia that makes 400 wheel. You know what I mean? And it's just it is what it is. The cars are getting faster and faster. So had fun with those, and then the ultimatum came with the brown car. I had it hopped up, and it was nice. Had a little turbo kit, and it was something simple, but I wasn't driving it because it becomes a thing,
Yeah.
right? It becomes a thing. It's loud, it's fast, it's hard on gas, it's rough. You got to watch out for potholes. Like it becomes a thing. So we had the chat one night. My wife brought it up. She said, "Hey, maybe, you should race it. Like if you're not going to drive it on the street, you should get a nice set of slicks or whatever else and go race it." So he did. So that summer we raced, we quarter mile racing, so drag racing. Miramichi has a great facility. I really think that it's one of the era's kind of hidden gems.
Yeah.
The facilities, world class. They just prepared, like they just redid the launch pad, the first 300 foot.
Yep.
It's all concrete, it's bare. Like we're really lucky to have what we have here, and it's underutilized, I find. But
Yeah. And you guys host 2 events there a year?
well,
Three?
we try to host 3 if the weather
Okay.
permits. Like this year, we had three scheduled. We run a heads up series, we call it. So same as what the guys run in the States. So it's pro tree heads up. So the first 2 bulbs, so pre-stage, stage, all 4 yellow bulbs light, or all 3 yellow bulbs light. Green goes and stick shift, and it's heads up,
Hope for
and
the best.
whoever shows up at the finish line first wins. Like it's very exciting to race. So anyway, just to go back, first year I raced that car, I was kind of chasing the number, right? You chase and chase and chase. Ran an 11-second pass. Hey, 11-second pass on a Volkswagen, it's not really that bad. Year after that, I said, I'm going to go for a 10-second pass. And I chased and chased and chased all year. I couldn't believe it. Like, I couldn't get the car from an 11.9 to a 10-second pass. It's only 0.9 of a second. And I'd thrown a pile of money at it. And I was kind of scratching my head, like, what am I going to have to do to make it go fast? So last race of the year was in October. And I run that weekend, but, weather wasn't great and all that stuff. So I don't hit it. I get a call on Monday. Al, we're going to run a last test and tune. If you want to come out, we're tomorrow night, which is the Tuesday.
Okay.
Come on out, we're going to race. Called my buddy Jay. I didn't have a truck at the time. Because I'd drive the car there, whatever it was. I knew I was going to throw everything at it for it to go a 10-second pass.
Yeah.
And the prep was still good from the weekend. So I called Jay. Jay picks me up, load the truck on the trailer. And I remember driving up Highway 15 here on my laptop. And it was like the do-all, end-all. Like, it had to go 10s. I couldn't bring the car home and let it sit over the winter and not go 10s anyway. Go out there, load that tune in, and the car goes 1089. Oh, boys. it was like Christmas for us, right? So just to give you a background on it, it's a 91 Golf. You know what? Just for the people, it's 91 Golf. It's VR6. So piston and rod motor. It's got cams, fancy stuff in the engine. The car makes almost 700 wheel horsepower. With me in it, the car is corner weighted, scaled at 2,450 pounds.
Okay.
So
wow,
if you do horsepower per pound,
that's
it's
light there.
it's up there. So that it's got a fancy dog box, twin disc clutch, dog box transmission. So basically, you let go of the clutch when you come off the line, and then you keep your foot in it and you just pull on the shifter and the transmission goes, right?
Yeah.
So that makes the car instantly way faster. Just that it rocks your world, right? It's really, really, really fast. So anyway, kind of been fighting ever since then to go quicker. The car's been 1030s at 145 mile an hour, 144 mile an hour since. But at that level, it becomes really tough to go fast, right? It was easy. The 11-second, we kind of struggled, but I didn't break anything. It was all in the data and getting it figured out. The 10s, I didn't break anything either. It was just getting the data right. But now from 10 to 9,
You're breaking everything.
I break something every race, right? I've thrown rods out of the block. I've broke axles. I've gotten towed back to my pits I don't know how many times. But that's the passion that we have.
Yeah.
I mean, now with the shop, it gives me maybe a bit less time.
Yeah.
People would think, oh, you have a bunch of time to work on your car now. It's kind of the opposite because I'll put people's cars in front of mine all the time, right? But that's the old Volkswagen. You might see it around a bit more if everything goes well. I'd love to put it back on the street and kind of drive it and bring me back to my old days now
Yeah.
that I might have a bit more time to work on it. But
That's
no,
fun.
that's the old Volkswagens, man. I mean, you had a couple. You had
I've
your
had
Mark One.
I've had a few. Like I had the Mark One, which is basically the first car we would have built together, like in my dad's garage. We started that. I was still in high school when I would have bought that car. It was just an '83 GTI. Was just sitting in a parking lot somewheres, and we were just like, oh, what do we do? Oh, it's a cool car. Like it's old school. Let's get something. Let's see what we can do. And got it towed home, and then took about, I say, 5 or 6 years before it finally came out of the garage for the first time.
Oh yeah. And it was nice.
It was a beautiful car. Like we had lucked out. We kind of done everything. The first motor we built, though, we had built an engine. So first setup I had was a 16 valve on dual Weber carburetors. Dual Weber carburetors. Had a bunch of engine work done. Like heads were done. Piston rod motor was a big thing. Got about 11 kilometers out of that engine before we dropped the valve.
Yeah.
So that was a learning curve. We'll look at it that much. But then from then we went straight to. Got rid of the carburetor setup, went to basically a 16 valve big turbo setup for the time. Like it was a fun little machine. It drove really nice. It moved around. It did all sorts of fun stuff. And yeah, it was something else to kind of be part of. Like it was a really cool car compared to my daily car, which was my '92 Jetta with the big bumpers, the snot green machine we called it, because it was. I had people argue: is it blue? Is it green? Is it what is it? I was just like, they call it snot green from factory. That's what it was. It was like this kind of metallic light green that they had going on in the color of the car. But that was a machine. You've had that car as well. Yeah, I sold that car to you after I was done with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. That was
that
one
car
of
was-
one of the old Volkswagens that I had.
Yeah, that car started its life.
Yeah, we called it Matt's Jetta though.
It was Matt's Jetta. It started its life as a 1.8 automatic car. Ended up being a 2.8 ABA with a 5-speed. Like it was something else.
2-liter ABA. I remember that. That was you'd bought that swap car in
Swap
Halifax.
car, yeah.
You tried to drive it back
Yeah.
with no brakes.
Yeah,
Didn't
no
you drive
brakes.
it back?
No, it broke down halfway through. He lost a wheel on the way up. So he lost the wheel on the way up, and I think he got it towed to our house, and within the first 24 hours, everything was out. Everything was ready to be put in the car.
We'd stripped that. That was we'd spent a lot of time in your garage. We were fortunate enough. Your dad was around. Your dad was a car guy.
He was into that.
Had a really
stuff.
nice garage too. So
and funny enough, he started with Volkswagens. Like they started
That's
fixing
right.
Beetles and stuff in that
Micah
garage
Bug.
when they were
Yeah.
there. Micah Bug, yeah, many years ago. So yeah, so that kind of all started there. Like his brother had a dune buggy. Mike had his little Volkswagen Beetle, the '73 Beetle, that made him a little popular with it. Like the Micah Bug thing came around. It was a '73 Beetle painted '74 Corvette red with a rake on it, big Krager wheels in the back, big exhaust. Like it was obnoxious for what it was, but it would have been a cool rig. I would have loved to see it in person or get to see it.
I remember seeing pictures of it for sure.
Yeah, that was something like that. But no, then we had the Mark One. The Mark One was a lot of fun. But yeah, I was fortunate enough to have a guy like you at within 3 houses down the road to kind of come work on that stuff. And I remember the first time we stripped the car down, that Mark One Golf, like within an afternoon, it was on 4 jack stands and nothing was left.
Stripped, and that was it. Yeah, that turned out to be a really nice car. That one.
Yeah.
That one, I was happy with that. And then I mean, that's all your old Volkswagens.
Yeah.
I had all my old
Your
stuff.
collection, yeah.
Right. But then, so obviously as the years went on, the little cars weren't as fun. Grew up and family and all that, and it's so the summer that we got married, my wife brought it up. She said, it'd be nice to do a little bit of camping or whatever else. But you're a Volkswagen guy. What do you get when you want to go camping?
Yeah.
You get a Westphalia, right? So we think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
2 kids, a dog, and the 2 of us, 2 adults, to go camping in a Westphalia. So it's this model here was in 1984, so a water box that they call.
Okay.
So it's got it does have water to cool it, but it's still the bug motor in the back.
Yeah.
Right. It's a 2.1 hauling a 5,500 pound car or van. So we camped with that. It didn't last long. Yeah. No washroom, no nothing. Trying to tell the kids that peeing on a tree is the right thing to do wasn't that great. So anyway, so we moved up to a couple things, got a truck and trailer and all that. And we moved into a motorhome.
Yeah.
So the old motorhome was, let's call it, I think it was in 1995.
Yeah.
It was mint. I bought it from this guy just down the street. It needed a bit of work. It wasn't the end of the world, but I sat there and made it nice, right? The thing, because I knew I had to travel with my kids and dog, family, the whole thing. And I didn't want any breakdowns, and I knew enough about them to make it right. So put all the right parts on it, spent some time, got it figured out. So we traveled in it, I don't know, 3 summers, and it was perfect. Like I remember we traveled northern New Brunswick, then western, we do right around the province. We traveled the whole way through. It was great. I remember we stopped at a little kind of corner gas station. There was a McDonald's there too. So we went and gassed up, went to McDonald's, driving away, pulling up on the highway. I sat there in the rearview mirror. I looked at my kids having a Happy Meal, watching TV as we were driving. And I said, if that's not it, I don't know what it is. Like it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So we had great fun with it. It's but traveling, it's a thing, right? Mm-hmm. The setup, the tear down, the move, the get the campground ready, try to find a good campground spot. So we said maybe we should settle down on something else. So we did, but then what do you do with the camper?
Yeah.
So we sell the camp. We put it up for sale actually, the old Brave. We put it up for sale and it's on Kijiji for a bit or Marketplace. This is only a couple of years ago on Marketplace, and it's kind of lingering around. We're kind of thinking, oh man, I might never sell this thing.
Yeah.
Like, frig.
It's too far gone.
It's an old rig. It's in 1995, but it had a 454 big block.
Yeah. The big thing, the heartbeat of America.
Heartbeat of, you'd start that thing up, you can just hear it suck fuel. You can count the dollars, $1, $2, $3. It was bad, right? So it was bad. So put it up, and a guy messages me finally. I'm like, oh, fish on, I got somebody. So look, and the guy says, hey, I'm interested. I'm going to buy it, and I want to drive it back to Alaska. What? Drive to Alaska? And I said, okay. Well, my reply was, this is not for you.
Yeah.
This is an old worn out motorhome. The guy buys it anyway.
Yeah.
I actually became friends with him. I still chat with him at times. He bought my old motorhome, my 1995, and it was a trip that they did frequently, him and his family. They'd fly from Alaska, to bordering BC. They'd fly down, buy an old RV, travel the Maritimes, and once they were done, they'd drive it home. So it took them 2.5 weeks, but they drove the old RV, the old Brave, Winnebago Brave was the name. They drove it back. He sent me pictures of the RV in front of the glaciers, parked by his house, like the whole 9 yards. I couldn't believe it. Like that was, I mean, who would think that my old RV would have made it there? I don't know, man. There's no way. But I kept it in good shape. So it just goes to show that that keeping good care of your stuff pays off.
One of my favorite stories you told me about that RV, you had done like the brakes the day before and had to bring it up to the cottage. And the main road was like blocked and you had to take from the mountains and you're coming down the hill and it's just...
So we're chasing a brake line issue with that. Oh man, I'm trying to forget about the spot. That's that part of it. So we had to do a little piece of a brake line. It was kind of getting crispy. You don't want to take a chance, right?
Yeah.
Old Al just trying to make his family safe. And I fought with that little piece of brake line. I swear it was 10 inches long. It was the tiniest little thing. I couldn't get it to seal. I couldn't get it to work right. Finally, I got it okay.
Yeah.
Right? I jump in and I said, it's fine. Like there's no leaks. I bled everything. It felt okay. So started driving there. I'm driving down. So my family cottage is in northwest New Brunswick. It's a 5-hour drive. Mm-hmm. So we're driving up and I see this monster cloud. Like it's black and purple. It's bad. My father texts me. He says, Al, he says, really bad rainstorm just came through. You might want to be aware of what's going on. You might be some localized flooding. So we get into the kind of the main drag into where our cottage is and the road's blocked off. So I get out, grab my dog, get out and start walking. And I go see the guy. I said, what's going on? He says, the road's flooded. We're not really sure what's going on. I said, and there's water kind of going over the road.
Might be a washout.
Might be washed out or whatever. I said, well, the RV weighs 25,000 pounds. Like, I'll just drive through it. He said, there's a good chance there's no road left, right? Our only other option was to go around on the Quebec side and go through the old logging roads up and down the hill. So I don't know if you've ever been around those roads. There's a sign and there's like a transport truck and a percent.
Uh-huh.
Well, the percents
You're
were like
great
in the
there.
high teens.
Yeah.
Right. They were all 18s, 19s, 17s. Like, wasn't pretty. So motorhome would give it all it's got to go up the hills. Then coming down the hills, you remember my brake line?
Yeah.
I remembered it. I remembered it the whole way down. After a while, my wife looked at me. She's like, Al, you're almost in the ditch. I said, yeah, because if the brakes fail, I'm hauling this old girl right in the ditch. Like, we're not going to ghost ride this thing down the hill. No, that was quite special, actually. It was, but that old motorhome, you know what? We raced with it. I've been all over. Like, we used to go to Miramichi, tow my race car with it. My son would come with us. It was funny that year. The last year we raced with it, we're racing this thing, and I hurt the engine. Right, so I hurt the engine, and so it was a VR6, nice setup, but it wasn't as built as this one. So hurt the engine. I'm there, and I can't really figure it out. So I said, well, we'll just take it out. It might not be that hurt. So I get dressed. So fire jacket, helmet, get strapped in, click the car in reverse. As I click the car in reverse, start backing up, the engine lets go and it explodes, right? So my, at the time, 9-year-old son, let's say 10-year-old son, is there, and I just see his eyes kind of look at me. So I shut it off. He runs over. And he says, Dad, the engine just exploded. So I get out, and it actually, like, the connecting rods come out.
Grenaded itself.
And it put a hole in the block and stuff. And he looks at me, waiting for an answer. And in my head, it's like a million miles an hour, right?
Yeah.
Can I get an engine here? I want to go racing with the boys. And he's like, so Dad, what do we do now? Right? Thank God I had the motorhome that time just to kind of go sit there and watch cartoons with them for a bit, because I didn't know what to do at that point. But yeah, I missed that old Bago for sure. That was a good one. Racing that old thing, racing this old thing with that old thing. Yeah, that was definitely cool.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. And you've made the so you've recently made the big jump from the dealership world to the independent shop world, where you now have your own shop. It's a really great kind of organization. You do a lot of great things there. So the big thing that I hear that you like to implement is you like to be kind of the bridge between the dealership and the independent shop, is where it is. How did that kind of all come about to branch out on your own and kind of do your own thing?
Yeah, so after I started in the dealer world, I kind of started to absorb like a sponge, right? Absorb the process and absorb the ways of the big dealers, the way that how these business tick really, and where they focus, where the energy goes, and how kind of, how could I put it? How's the foundations laid out? Then bring a good product into that store, and it just works, right?
Yeah.
Good staff, good process, predictability, and all that. And so I had the opportunity throughout the years to have great mentors. And I'm not a big reader, but I listen to audiobooks. And audiobooks, one of my favorites is Good to Great. And Good to Great is very process oriented. So how do you take a good process and make it great? So predictability is the biggest thing. Predictability, repeatability.
Yeah.
We go to fast food restaurants. We don't go to fast food restaurants because it's good.
No.
But you know what? You show up to the speaker and you order number 2, and it's got to be the same every time.
It tastes the same.
And the human race loves predictability. We don't like surprises. Maybe at Christmas or at your birthday, but that's about it. Not for supper, right? You want to have the same thing every time. So knowing that, using my knowledge that I had gathered, because by the time I left the dealer world in 2021, I had been in the game since 2004, right? If we rewind back to my co-op days, I had been in the game for a long time. So I knew I couldn't go and get a franchise or big banner dealer early. I knew it had to be kind of a high-end automotive shop, but why not try to be as good as the dealers at the independent level? They do a great job, and they still do. They have really good training programs. They have really good stuff that goes on in the back end, which draws a lot of high-end staff. And we're lucky because the dealers around here are staffed with some high-end people.
Very much.
But I could probably do the same if, kind of feel as a dealership, in my own little shop. So in 2021, I did leave. I set aside the dealer world and started planning this is what we call now D1 Autotech. Started that with an ideal, a dream. That was about it. Didn't have a name, didn't have a logo. I knew how to fix cars, but that was about it. So I surrounded myself with really smart people. I sat down with branding people. So I sat down, and that was a great experience. Just sitting down and chatting, kind of like we're doing here now. Chatted for a couple hours, and I got a report the next day. And I said, "Where'd you get that information?" And Matt, the gentleman from Fusebox Creative, says, "Al," he says, "that's all stuff that you gave to me. I didn't come up with any of that stuff. I listened to you, but what you're telling me is this, right?" So I surrounded myself with good people like that. Matt created a great brand. And with that, I kind of had the momentum to move forward with a building, with, the fit ups and everything that comes with it. And that's a whole other step, right? Because I'm a mechanic. Let's be real. I didn't know any of that stuff. So that was a really big learning curve. But now that we're in our shop and doing our thing, we have a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
And we're very, very lucky that we have a lot of great customers.
Oh, of course.
Over the years, we've gained, obviously, the respect and the trust of all those people. Those customers respect our opinions. They trust that what we do is the right thing. And we understand that that's not given either, right? We work really hard to build that trust and maintain that trust. And I truly think, and we tell the boys that all the time, I truly think that we put out probably some of the best work out there. From high-end parts to high-end lubricants to high-end services, hand torquing a drain plug. Nobody does that. The boys do that. Right? It's all little stuff, but they feel comfortable. It's part of the process. Right? It's repeatability. It's how we do things from the daily. You can do if you can do basic tasks with your subconscious and actually use your knowledge when you're kind of throwing a wrench in your spokes, that's where you're going to shine. If you're constantly thinking about what your next step is going to be, even on basic tasks, you'll never achieve anything.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Right.
And like that's the thing. It's all part of the process. Like if your process is great, you're going to be successful as long as you follow your process. Your steps are taken where they need to be taken. And like you said, it's building that trust, building that rapport with your clientele. Once you get that, once you're there, and they're yours. Like it's they're going to trust Al. They always come in and Al said I needed this. Well, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
And I like one of the things that we do that I really like is that we set up the customers for future repairs. Oh, hey, your brakes are getting low. We're going to be due in the next couple of months. Be ready. And you line them up that way, and it builds that trust in a way where.
And I understand. I come from humble beginnings myself, and I understand that fixing cars or operating motor vehicles or whatever you want to call it, cars or vans or trucks or whatever it is, it's expensive. I know it's not easy. I know nobody likes going to the garage. It's sort of like going to, an appointment somewhere that you don't want to go to. It's like you don't wake up in the morning and go, yeah, sweet, I got to drop my car off at the shop today. Right? It's not how it goes.
You don't go to the dentist excited for your root canal. Like it's just one of those things. Like
No, I didn't want to say it. You said it.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. So I understand that. Our team understands that. So we try to make a not so fun situation as smooth as possible. We try to bring the transparency and then predictability. I use that word a lot, but like you said, if we see repairs coming, we'll bring it up, right? Because we understand that spending $1,200 to do brakes all around in your car is a big deal.
Oh, 100%.
Right? $1,200 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right? So for somebody that, get ready for that. with us going, hey, by the way, in 6 months, well, guess what? Somebody can get ready and be prepared for it instead of the big punch 2 weeks before Christmas. Like,
Yeah.
so we like to set it up that way. Not that we want to, because a lot of businesses are driven on upsells. I don't believe in those at all. But we will recommend what your car actually needs.
Yeah.
So, and that's been, it's been working out for us so far. Like I said, we get up in the morning and the boys, like, we have a lot of fun at the shop. Right? But we have shop meetings and stuff, and we talk to the boys, and I truly think that we put out some great stuff. Look at recently, we just did a manual conversion on a Ferrari F430.
430, exactly.
That was let's call it, if you follow our Instagram or our social media, that was a career job per
100%.
se. That was a fantastic job to do. Like, to sit there and take a car that was born automatic and you convert it into manual, you actually add a third pedal and a stick shift. Like, it was really cool. Again, it started with a good, trusting customer.
Yeah.
Right? It was his idea. He brought it up. I was so happy that he brought it up because I had contemplated it myself, right?
Yeah.
So we did that. We just finished a 1,000 horsepower BMW.
Yeah.
The car is smoking fast, like super, super fast, right?
Crazy.
And we sit there and you push it off because you're in the grind, you're working at it every day. But sometimes if you stop and you look back at it, you'll kind of go, you realize how far the shop has progressed, and the stuff that we do, and the stuff that our customers trust to do, right? That 1,000 horsepower car, we can't hide it. That wasn't a cheap project, right? But the results were there.
Oh, 100%.
The results were there. The
100%.
customer has driven it over 3,000 kilometers now, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's a big deal, and there's hardly any cars out there. If you want to be in that 1,000 horsepower world, it's a whole. You're almost in the hypercar world. I know the Corvettes just came out with 1,000 horse there, but they say it's 1,000. I don't even know if it's actually 1,000, but. I'd like to see the dragging numbers on one.
It's 1,000 bald eagles per square mile.
Per square mile. I don't know how those go down. Anyway, that's a different ball of wax. But I mean, you're lucky enough to be part of it.
Part of the crew, absolutely. Like, for me in the last year to join the team, in the last year, like I did, like to leave the dealership world like you did. Which was really, like, a big step for me, because it's like, it's that uncertainty. It's like, oh, well, I'm leaving this, the comfort, the quality of work that I was doing there, and I have to bring it here. But now I'm pretty well on my own. Like, I have a great team in the shop, but it's like, I got to show up, because now it's like, it's being the face of this new brand, of like having people get to want to trust me instead of always reaching out for Al. Al does what he does best now in the shop. Matt sits out front. He does what he does best, and it's just kind of like we make it all work within a day's work. I like to say we work really hard, but we also play hard with, like, the cars that we have here, the projects that we do, and everything that comes with being in the automotive world today is so great. And with social media, you can really advertise these things, show the people what's happening and what's going on. Like that Ferrari, when we did that manual conversion swap, like it was one of the things it was one of the first projects we started doing live updates. The shop almost became a museum, in a sense.
We learned from that one.
Yeah,
we learned from that one.
Yeah, where people are coming in, oh, you're working on this Ferrari, well, tell me about it, tell me about this. Well, you got a wrench on it right now, but we'll get to it. But
yeah, we learned from that one. It was great. I mean, people are excited about it.
Oh, absolutely.
I was excited.
People were excited for you and for the shop, in a sense too. Yeah,
everybody, it had great vibes surrounding it. Red Ferrari, and it was a big project, and tearing it all apart and put it all back together. And by the way, the customer loves it.
Yeah,
like it
drives great.
The car's working great. The car.
Yeah, people see it all over the place. You'll see it on Maritime Car Spotting all the time. Like it's there. Like, it's out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, that was fun.
No, those are quite the achievements. It's cool to see those achievements, like especially after a year of a career of almost 20 years in the dealership world, and then to branch out on your own and to see these successes even early on in the game has to be quite the accomplishment.
Yeah. So in a sense, obviously I live the shop. Let's call it, right. Like it's what I do.
Yeah.
I go home at night and I read up on the newest products, and car videos and magazines and whatever else, car articles. It's all I do, right? So if you want to be the leader, if you want to play with the big boys, if you want to gain people's trust, you got to be able to talk, and you got to be able to know how things work, and you got to have answers, right? Nobody likes the guy that says, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? Or go to the dealer, or we want to be that stop. We work really hard to do so.
Yeah.
We're not the end all, obviously, but early on, if it was going to work, I was going at it 100% from the get-go and just making it work. It's funny enough, so I'm going to talk about the car club a little bit, because this was a thing where I opened the shop. I'm working there like every Saturday, right? Doors are locked, tunes are on. I'm just making progress working on cars. So I get a call from my old buddy Joel. Joel, which I met 15 years ago, he showed up on my front lawn asking me about a car I had there, and I told him to beat it. But ends up, Joel was probably one of the most passionate car guys that I know.
Yeah.
So he calls me, he says, Al, we'd been in contact since, obviously, I'd been working on some of his cars on the side. And he calls me, I'm working on a Saturday morning. He says, Al, we're thinking about doing a car club thing. I have my exclusive member, my high-end car member group. We're looking at doing something, but we can't really find anything. I have a couple of my buddies here with me. I said, come on down. So I was lucky enough to move in this building as one of the first tenants. So I got the 2 units from the street. So we have a great facade, great curb appeal, mostly glass front. So, the shop's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Everybody brags about my office when they come in the shop. So
you
they see the big office. I have the big windows.
Nice
I worked hard to get that office. Yeah.
So we do. I was working there anyway, and they stop in, and I said, well, let's look at this place. So what you now know and see as Exclusivo Car Club used to be a gravel floor with 2 walls, right? There was nothing. So we kind of come in here, we look at it. It was a bit smaller than what they were looking for. Obviously, well, by the looks of it, they've outgrown it already.
It's full.
No wonder. Joel knew, and with his drive and his passion, there was no question where it was going to go somewhere. But it was going to do the trick. So how can we stuff as many cars as possible? So right then and there, in that afternoon, I had an old Carpenter estate that was wore out, and I think the 10 and the 12 and the 18 was wore off it, but whatever. We kind of measured and wash bay here and that, and that's actually, it all happened on that Saturday morning. Shot some numbers around, give me an idea on this and that, and what do you do, and how do we do it, and from there, I think it only took a couple months after that where the excavators were in here getting the floors ready, the rough-ins, the drains, and the Joel had built his famous car club that he'd been talking about for so long. And if anybody that's been in the neighborhood knows that, like, this has become something.
The place.
This has become something. Summertime, obviously the members have their cars out, but nowadays, if you want to come and you look at some nice stuff over the winter.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's probably 25 cars. Or 30
I don't know how
cars.
much the camera gets from behind us here, but just looking at what's here, like there's a GT3 RS, there's a Skyline in the GTR in the corner, like it's just all
another
sorts of cool
GT3
stuff.
RS, GT4 RS,
GT4, yeah, like it's everywhere.
Yeah, so there's some really nice stuff. It's what dreams are made of.
Exactly, like the dream cars of everybody.
Right,
And it's cool to see this market in our area as well, where we grew up here most of our lives.
Yeah.
And like this wasn't here 5 to 10 years ago. Like it wasn't.
Oh,
around,
it wasn't even a dream.
No.
It wasn't even a dream. You'd see a Ferrari going down the road. You'd almost put your car in the ditch trying to take a picture of it.
Yeah.
Right? Like that. It was a big deal back then.
I remember being in the dealership world, getting the first R8 that we had here locally. Like that was a big deal. Like that was a supercar that was like showing up in this small dealership on Champlain Street, and just out of nowhere is like everybody's coming in to see it, and who's going to buy it, and who's going to be the first to get on it.
Yeah, who's going to be the car? And now we call it like Tuesday morning.
Yeah, exactly. Like we have 4 of them today. Like it's just one of those things.
Yeah. That's really cool, and we've been fortunate enough to be able to work hand in hand with them and create relationship with the Porsche guys, relationship with the McLaren guys, the Aston Martin guys, we kind of bring, the peace of mind, I guess, to a supercar owner.
Yeah.
So if you own a Porsche, well, guess what? There's no dealerships locally.
Yeah.
There's one in Halifax or in Quebec City. So if you do have a breakdown or even just maintenance,
Yeah.
there's an avenue in town. You won't lose your car for a day or a
No,
week
exactly.
or whatever else.
There's
We had
no
a
shipping
McLaren
it.
in today. That
Yeah.
McLaren, the other option for a McLaren, actually, long story short, I had a customer. I just left the dealership world. Lamborghini. It's one of the first Lambos in town. Calls me. Something had happened. Anyway, the battery had went dead and the car had just gone haywire. The car has gone crazy. And he calls me. He's freaking out. He says, Al, my only option here is trailering the car down to Montreal. I'm going to lose my car for weeks. This is like end of August. I'm going to lose it for the rest of the summer, basically. By the time we get it back, I'm going to have to put it away. So he says, do anything, right? Well, I could have charged that guy $1 million, right? But the next day, the car was fixed. Calibration, it had caused a couple faults. Like I had to go rectify a few things, but his car was back, right? Didn't lose his car. The biggest factor at that point was not to lose the car for the rest of the summer, right? It could have cost whatever.
Yeah.
He wanted his car back.
Yeah.
Right. So that sentiment is forwarded, and we see it with the high end stuff.
Well, that's the big thing in the collector car market. Like, it's not necessarily the money you spend on the car; it's the time you get to have with the asset. Like, that's the big factor when you're playing at that ball field. Like, I mean, everybody has a daily. Everybody has their daily. You know, a Honda Civic. You know, you won't put the passion in that you would in a Porsche 911 that you're only going to get out on nice summer days, on weekends, or on whenever you have a chance. But the time with that asset is really the big factor when it comes to that market, and that's what these big guys want.
You realize early on that the guys that own these cars have worked really, really hard to get them, right?
100%.
So and that's the thing. You go into a relationship with your customer. You go into just a simple repair, knowing that, keeping that in the back of your mind. Your customer worked really hard to achieve this or to get to this level. He could have, at that level, you can buy yourself a nice boat. You can put a big extension on your house. You can have an in-ground pool. You can have the biggest RV you want. But they chose to have a 2-seat car that they can drive about 20 times a year, right? That they might put on 3,000 kilometers in the year. 3,000 kilometers, people do that in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Normal people in a normal car,
Oh, yeah.
people do that. But guess what? That's what they chose to go and indulge themselves with. So you go into every repair, every relationship with that in mind. It has to be successful because you treat everything with such respect because you don't want to let this guy down. He's worked so hard to get there, right?
Yeah.
So, but you learn that, but that feeling's transparent too. They feel it. They feel it when you're in it.
Yeah.
Right. You go into a shop and the guys don't really kind of connect with the car, and they bring it in, and it's just the same old car as gonna gun it in and out and punch in, punch out, make sure the flat rate's good.
Yeah.
Guess what? That transmit, and nobody kind of wants that feeling. But for us, it's no, it's a lot of fun, and getting to know all these people too. It's cool. People have this cliche mentality of supercar owners. Oh, there's something else. But guess what? We can get all the supercar owners in here, and we'd have a great night. Right? We'd have a great afternoon. I'd spend the day with them. Right? They're great people.
Well, fun things that we do as part of D1 and part of the Exclusivo Car Club is we partner up and we do these shows together now. We have the big open house weekends. I don't remember if they were around the first year that you had done it. I think they were in construction that first year.
So the car club wasn't here because when I moved in there in January 23, I think the car club only moved in here in the fall of 23. So the first year I was alone. It was cool that year because wasn't much traction yet. I was busy, but it's as every startup. We were 2 guys at that time. There was a guy that joined us not long before that show. I'd reached out to a guy, Dropout Rari, Scott Doucette, guy from Halifax. So I shot him a text on Instagram. Didn't really know Scott. I knew of him. He had a really wild 458. And so I shot him a text and I said, dude, if you can connect me with the right people in Halifax, I'd love for your crew to come down and just kind of set the stage, right? And they did.
Yeah.
They did. So I don't know, it's 10:30 on that Saturday morning, and there was a lineup of supercars, GTRs, AMG GTs, Porsches, Ferraris, name it. They're all one after another. So that was like the guys that were here that noticed that. It was kind of the stamp of approval, the seal of approval. It's like, oh, Al's connected well enough in this crowd to draw these guys up from Halifax.
Yeah.
So that was a stamp, and I'll always be thankful for those guys that made the trip that first time. Jason Bayer and the boys to come up, and just they spent, I don't know, a couple hours. We had the barbecue going. They had a bite to eat, and they drove back down to Halifax. So for those, I don't know, 10, 12 cars, let's call them 20 people. Really grateful for you guys to made the trip up, because that was cool. And right from the start, I mean, that kicked things off. They got a lot of traction. The rest of the show went great that year. Last year again, the show was great. And then this year we kind of almost had problems, because we fired up our shows usually 10 to 2, but by 10:15 the parking lot was packed.
No more room.
Parking lot up front was packed. No room. Like it was. So we're gonna have to revisit next year. But now with the guys at Exclusivo, and we have a really good social media guy that makes us look good for the most part. I mean, we can only look so good.
We only look so good,
we're
exactly.
just two old,
but I remember this year was so fun, because it was my first. Well, I had been part of the last few as well, kind of partially in the background. But this year was like my first year to really be part of it. And I remember, I hope this guy watches this episode, where we rolled in, and this guy rolls in this lovely Audi wagon. And he goes to park it, and I just felt so bad, because he had rusted holes in the fenders, and he had this, and I'm like, I got like 3 Lambos coming in for this show, and I just had to walk up to him and say, hey man, it's a really cool car, I really like these machines, but get it out of here if you don't mind. Like, I just felt so bad. I felt so bad. So if you're out there, I apologize, and I hope you get to see this, but I really enjoyed your lowered wagon. I just wish it wasn't as rusty.
Oh no. So next year we'll have to revisit. Obviously these are great problems to have.
Absolutely.
The weekend of the show, I had a couple ideas on what we might try to do next year. It's the weather's been cooperating, so obviously it's a lot of fun. But this year I got to see cars early on, because usually it's mail on weekend. And it's early on in the year, so you don't really imagine seeing these cars out that early, because the weather is obviously so right at that time of year. So no, it's been good. We have a fun barbecue that weekend too. So that car show weekend, you're right.
Yeah.
Car show weekend's always fun.
It's fun. And like, everybody thinks of a car show in Moncton, like you think the hot rods, you think this, but here, like, we had Ferraris, we had Lambos, we had the Ferrari that we had on display that we did the manual conversion, we had Porsche GT3s, we had Nissan GTRs. Like, it was really high caliber stuff, which is
really
cool to
high
see.
end. F8, SF90 Ferrari, F8 Ferrari, pretty well almost one of each. And then all the BMW models. Those new BMWs, I mean, I didn't really go into those in details. Those new M3, M4 BMWs, we've been doing a couple, and to say the least.
Yeah. Well, we have the 1,000 horsepower that we have,
BMW,
our claim to fame, and then we have the other few that we've done here and there that are still racing hard, putting out really good numbers in the racing world as well.
So those guys race. They do some no prep that they call, and those on street tires, those cars are nothing can touch them. Unbeatable. I mean, I'm not even sure if a Tesla Plaid could hang with those. Like, those things are fast cars. Yeah. So it just goes to show that the BMW right now, the technology, so that engine, that transmission combo, the rest of technology with the stability control and all that, man, those cars are really fast. Yeah. And they're strong, and they last. Yeah. We have a good tuner that we work with. The boys at Vader Performance.
Vader Performance are phenomenal.
Those guys are just, they come in here and they're like wizards, right? They can make those things fly. And we've been working hand in hand with Ryan for a while now, just to get all the high end stuff tuned. Yeah. But he's also really good at understanding our clients' requests and needs, right?
Absolutely.
So, because everybody wants to go fast, but you got to realize like how fast you really want to
Yeah,
go.
and there's a process to it. Like it's okay. Well, you wanted this. You're going to need this certain upgrade. You need this upgrade. You're going to need that. Or air coolers, oil coolers, all this. Like it all comes hand in hand. You know, exhaust pipes and,
Yeah.
and all this and that. And then he comes in with his little laptop, does his thing, types his numbers, and boom, the car just kind of, you know, has a new lease on life. Like.
Might be a bit shorter life.
Yeah,
Might
there
be a
is
bit
that.
shorter life,
Yeah,
but it'll work
unfortunately.
good.
Yeah.
It'll work good. No, it's I say that jokingly, but his he puts out really good stuff. So there's
Yeah.
that's no drama for sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no,
Well, no, I mean this has been fun. I'd say we're gonna have to do this more often. We'll have to have you back on sometime soon.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Stay tuned, guys. We're gonna have all sorts of episodes going on with this stuff. We're gonna have more guests coming on. We'll have Al back on probably in a few months. But yeah, keep in touch for more episodes of Autocadie. We're gonna have some French guests. We're gonna have some English guests. I might have to learn another language to have different guests. You never know one day. But anyways, I've been your host, Matt LeBlanc. This has been a pleasure. Al, thank you so much for being a part of the first episode and kind
welcome, yeah.
of being our guinea pig here today. But yeah, and very special thanks to Pierre-Luc for putting all this together. Phantom Media Productions, please follow his work. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time on Autocadie. Thanks so much. Have a great time.